computer. All right.
Oh yeah, I'm Mateo.
Oh, Mateo's on. Uh-oh, trouble. We got trouble in the house. All right, if you've ever seen Tim Ferriss's podcast where he's drinking wine, I'm drinking beer tonight, and so the I Ching could get a little crazy if we go too late.
Yeah.
This is one of my off celebration days, so.
Yeah, and our goal is really to keep this like super down low dialed. Like,
right, we want to be done in 45 minutes or less, and we're so excited. Anat and Amateo, why don't you drop a word in the chat box about how you're feeling right now? What's your energy? Amateo, is this a free day for you? Come on, man, you can get some omission. I know you can.
Get some good Mexican beer.
Just let me be free. Yep, you are free, Amateo, and. Yeah, you probably should have a Negra Modelo right now or something else that you need to clean the top of because it could have urine and other things on it. That's why they use, oh, here we go. Anat. Emotional, excited to be with all of you. Full moon. Oh. Anat, I feel you, and I think that you're going to love the reading that came through for us tonight. I think it's going to land really well considering where you're at. David, should we bring them all in for a little visual party real quick?
Look, I say yes.
Okay. Uh-oh, Kristen was promised she would not be visible, and now she's visible. Oh, look at this beautiful crew. Oh, Amateo took off his video. He's got a lot of hair in that picture.
Oh, I love seeing all your beautiful faces.
Hey, Nat.
Yeah, Dustin in a car. Yeah, making it happen.
So our internet in Mexico won't allow it. It'll kick me right off this call
if we want to hang in there, we've got to take off the video.
Okay, all right, we'll settle for that. At least we have Amateo's modeling picture from 1990.
That's a great photo, by the way.
Yeah.
So Dustin, when we go into meditation, you just keep your eyes open, okay? Yeah.
I see you. I see Dustin with the bling on. He's showing us what he's got. Well, I'm just curious, of those of you that are on here, did any of you get a chance to take a moment to drop into what your deepest question is that seems like it's beyond logic and strategy? The question of like a direction or that thing that the missing piece that seems like it's logically is not going to bring it in, that there has to be another way to bring it in. Yeah, wouldn't right now be a great time to just drop into that? And if you got anything that you want to share, just go ahead and drop it in right now.
What's coming for me is the actual physical pain in the back of my heart. This physical, and it's like beyond my mind. I don't know. Been there for a long time, like really healing on a new level I didn't even know possible.
Man, David, master of medical Qigong, and and all the things we know, and still our bodies give us these little mysteries to try to figure out and solve, right? All our Qigong practices, we've got this like measuring stick, you know,
Yeah.
you know, does that thing get better or does it get worse or does it stay the same?
What's interesting, it's made me hypersensitive and attuned to the subtle movements of like when I do this with my spine, or if I use the lacrosse ball in this way, or if I do certain breathing things. So in many ways, it's a gift and, you know, blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
So if you guys feel called to share anything, you can drop it in the chat box. Most important is that you just hold that intention in your heart. And I wanted to open the space and just allow each one of us to really drop in and call in our higher self. So wherever you are, take a moment. We're going to take some deep breaths together. Inhale through the nose. Your chest rise, let your rib cage expand. As you exhale, just let anything that's keeping you heavy or dense or standing, just let it go down into the earth. And inhale through the nose, big and deep. For sound, as you exhale, feel your growing tree roots down into the earth. Feel your heart softening. Big inhale, calling in your higher self. Feel your crown extending into the sky. And as you exhale, feel that pillar of light melting through your brain, your heart, your belly, your tailbone, your feet, deep down into the earth. Let's take 3 more breaths just like that. Inhale big. And now ground that light through our physical body into the earth. Inhale, connecting to our higher self. Expanding our capacity. And exhale, grounding it through our heart, smiling through our belly, down through our legs and the earth. One more time, I'm going to breathe in big. Hold it at the top. Hold it at the top. Love it. Embrace all that you are. And when the time's right, relax your shoulders, put the chi in your belly, and ground this light of your higher self through every cell, every pore, every tissue, deep down into our DNA. Begin to tune into gratitude for this moment right here. What a gift it is to share this sacred space. Now envision each one of us as pillars of light on the planet, all over the globe. We're like divine acupuncture needles, and the work we do here sends ripples of light, touching every man, woman, and child, and touching Mother Earth herself. So giving ourselves full permission to bring all of our presence, all of our love, all of our gifts, calling in the guidance and supports from on high, the angels and archangels, the enlightened beings, master healers and teachers, divine, feminine, and masculine to be here with us now. Full integration. I love you. I honor you. I am you. So I want to read something to each of you as we open the sacred gates of this process, this academy. And this comes from the Mind Oracle. So I've been using the Mind Oracle as well as the Gene Keys since 2012. And 2 indispensable texts. So it's a little story. It's a short one. So just relax back and open your heart. Once upon a time, a galactic council was called, and a mythic call was sent out to countless light beings. The children of the sun, the angelic winged ones, the sun runners, the rainbow warriors, and other luminous ones from many star systems. This great circle of light beings gathered from far and wide. At the appointed nexus, which is now, Great Spirit entered, gracing them all with celestial light and the following words. You are invited to incarnate upon a world where a great transformation will take place. You who respond to this call will go to a place of planetary evolution where the illusions of fear and separation are strong teachers. I am calling those with the needed talents and gifts to act as my emissaries there, to lift and transform the frequencies of planet Earth, simply by embodying and anchoring love's presence here. In this myth, you will be the creators of a new reality, the reality of the golden octave. On other journeys, each of you has proven to be a feeling navigator, able to awaken your consciousness and align your heart to the promptings of pure love and compassionate service. As sun runners and torchbearers, you have already demonstrated that you will hold the light high. And so I invite you each to incarnate en masse among the tribes of Earth to assist Gaia and all her children in their transformation. It is part of the plan that you will be veiled in forgetting. However, as you remember the feeling of childlike innocence, love, and trust, you will become the harmonic octave that this cycle of initiation on Earth needs. You will incarnate strategically, often in some of the most vibrationally dense areas of the planet. To some, this illusion of separation from love may create feelings of hopelessness, lack of support, and alienation. But by embracing our humanness, our love will transform the depths of duality, and your light will quicken the many. Just pause in silence for a moment. Let that all soak in. Feel the non-linear energetic downloads and information already coming through for us. And as we drop into our collective heart in service to the great awakening on Mother Earth, we're now going to dive into the ancient I Ching. We're going to explore the wisdom and magic that it holds for us during these times of change. So I'll hand it off to Brother Kai.
All right. Just for the, I'm gonna change our view here. There we go. All right. So, David, first of all, thank you, man. That was beautiful. I feel like one of the most selfish things that I love about this is I feel like we have a campfire again to sit around.
Yeah.
You know, we're all from distant places, and finally we can join every Wednesday once a month for this, to be around a campfire together and to share sacred teachings. And I know we all come in at different levels, and I just want to give a little bit of a disclaimer, which is that some of you may be very comfortable in this kind of non-dual, non-logical realm of oracles and wisdom and star brothers and sisters that are channeling teachings to us. And for other people, that's going to be new. And so I just want to promise you one thing, that we are going to do everything in our power to ground these transmissions into action in your lives. And that even though they can seem esoteric and far out there, when you allow this different stream of consciousness, this different lens to see the world, when you allow it to begin to filter into your life like sunlight through the trees, it can change everything. Even if you don't know how it's working, just by engaging in it, just by reading it, just by letting it reverberate through your being, things can start to shift, and I believe will shift for you guys. And at the same time, it's really practical. But that's a good place to start, because where the hell did the I Ching come from, right? 2,500-year-old text that supposedly came from the back of a turtle. You know, the Taoist guy is meditating by the river, and a turtle, big turtle, walks out of the river, and on its back are these broken and solid lines. And the Taoist master has an insight, or just the simple shaman, he realizes this is a system of divination. And we fast forward 3,000 years later, and the computers that we're all using to be part of this campfire right here are based on zeros and ones which the scientists who invented that binary code was inspired after their exposure to the I Ching, to this ancient text, to the way that things were coded with solid lines and broken lines. So the first, like, just give me 2 minutes to lay out the I Ching as it was. It's an oracle text, meaning that you use a method to ask questions to get answers from the larger universe. And the idea is, if the universe is a hologram, then there is a limited number of pieces. And if we have a map or a matrix, then we can understand whatever hologram is presenting into us. We can understand the deeper meaning behind it. And all oracles work that same way. The Mayans have oracles. The Egyptians had oracles. The Chinese had oracles. Every culture has had that. Okay, so the I Ching. It is going to help us all to align our greater vision in our relationships, our business, our service to the world, to align that service with larger cosmic forces that are at play in every moment. And we're going to do that by each month. We are going to drop in like this. We are going to pull a hexagram from the I Ching. We're going to consult it as a group. And that will be like the theme for that month. But also, you guys are going to be getting this stuff in the mail. You're going to be getting an I Ching if you don't already have it. And you're going to be getting the Gene Keys if you don't already have it. And I would say that once a week, to throw your own hexagram once a week could be really powerful if you have the time and the bandwidth. Otherwise, just go deep into the monthly ones and you'll find more and more information in them. Okay, so I'm going to share an app right now because the book is super portable and there's an app on the phone by the same translator, and we're going to go to that right now so we can just dive right in. David, let me know how we're doing with the tech.
All right.
How we doing?
Good. It's coming up.
Okay. So you guys, this is the I Ching. It's by an author named Brian Brown Walker. I highly recommend, it's only a couple bucks. Even if you have the hard copy, I highly recommend you get this for your phone. Now, when we consult the I Ching, what we do is the traditional way is to use coins. And so this is a set of virtual coins. You're looking at the head side, and the other side is tails. It only has 2 characters. On the next call, we're going to dive into how to throw your own I Ching reading at home. And we're going to do one live on the call. But just for now, to see how it would work, you hold the significant question in your heart. You keep your consciousness clear. And I invite you right now in this moment, like, what is that friction point in your life? What is that emotional pain or curiosity, that the thing you've tried to fix for so long and you haven't seemed to be able to crack it? And feel the contrast of that deep desire to improve or to know more, to have an effortless solution birth itself into your consciousness. And let that form itself into a question. And then as you hold that in your mind, you would hold these 3 coins. They could be quarters or nickels or dimes, or they could be the Chinese coins that come to you in the mail with the set that we send you. And in this case, in the app, you just tap on it. And you see in this case, you have 2 heads and 1 tail in the middle. So you have 3 and 3 and 2, and you add up these numbers. We're not going to go through all that. David told me he's going to bore you guys if I do that. So I'm not going to do it until the next call. But ultimately, you throw the coins 6 times, and the numbers you get give you 6 lines. And this 6 lines is a hexagram. So in this manual, in the book, there's a very simple set of instructions. How you throw the coins, how you number the lines from bottom to top. And then you eventually look up in the diagram, you get to look up your hexagram and see what it is. All right. So we're just going to go to the one that we got for today. David, is the screen changing?
It is not.
It's not. It's not changing over here, and I don't know why. So let me see. Go to this. Stop share. And I'm going to just share the screen again. Share screen. Go up. Okay.
We're good.
So you got it now?
Yep.
All right. So a couple days ago, I sat in meditation and I tuned into the energy of the Jedi that are in this group. And I threw the coins of the I Ching and I asked the I Ching, what is the advice that we can all utilize the most as we launch into this 6-month journey of the immortal entrepreneur? Immortal being a life of longevity, a life of untypical vitality, happiness, spontaneity, something beyond the cultural myth of what's possible. So that when we face our transition to whatever's next, we have no regrets. And we made the impact and celebrated the life that was one of being the hero of our own story and the hero of this time period, the heroes and the heroines. And so I threw it, and this is what came up. This hexagram is number 27. It's mountain over thunder. So each 3 lines can be broken down to a smaller character. And this one is called providing nourishment. And it comes as such a practical reminder with 3 basic levels of advice. I'm just going to read because how can I say it better than this? Give proper nourishment to yourself and others. I encourage you, if you're listening, have a notepad open or the notes on your computer and see what resonates with you as you hold your personal inquiry at the front of your heart. The image of this hexagram is that of an open mouth. It comes to remind us that the nourishment of our bodies and spirits is important and merits our conscientious attention. So, David in the immortal form, one of the big value propositions is if you take care of yourself spiritually and emotionally and physically, everything else in your business and your life will go better. But it's a radical choice. The I Ching teaches us that if we wish to gauge someone's character, we should notice what he nourishes in himself and in others. Those who cultivate inferior behaviors and relationships are inferior people. Those who cultivate superior qualities in themselves and others are superior people. This is a test we should apply to ourselves as well as to others. So this is a good moment to just point out that the I Ching uses words like sage, Tao, spirit to mean all the higher forces in the universe. And it talks about inferior qualities, lower entities, dark forces as our own innate shadow in our nature, the dark part of the world. And so it's not inferior and superior in a judgmental way, but from the observation of what aligns us with the highest principles in the universe. And so the piece that came to me from this one is just to, if you want to judge a great life coach or businessman, look at their clients or their customers. And if their clients and customers are successful and satisfied, then you can see what their work is creating in the world. Regardless of the books they've written or the seminars they've taught, what is the energy that escapes from them in the quiet moments in between the spotlight?
Mm.
What is that? How do they nourish in that way? What you put into your body is obviously important because it determines your fundamental physical well-being. It is wise to moderate and be thoughtful about the food you eat. What you put into your mind is even more significant, and regulating it is a more subtle art. This hexagram gives us 3-part advice on that subject. So thinking of the thoughts we hold as another form of nourishment. The first counsel is that we should not feed our minds on desire. When we forgo our equanimity, our centeredness, our calmness, and begin to desire something or someone, a host of other inferior influences comes into play. We become ambitious about obtaining the object of our desire. And we become fearful that we will not. Even if we do achieve it, our ego is gratified and strengthened, and it soon issues another demand for us to meet. A self-reinforcing cycle of negativity is thus created. Therefore, it is wise to hold yourself free from desire. Oh, the dichotomy of our ambition and when we get attached to specific results versus staying aligned with our higher purpose. I'm going to leave a big opening here for discussion at a later time, but I know that David and I know Amateo, can relate to when the business has become a list of goals and there's less connection with the original divine inspiration that inspired the service. And making effort to find the balance between those, surrendering the results and staying focused on the state of being that we're in, can be really challenging at times. All right, the second counsel is that we begin and continue in a regular practice of meditation. Sitting quietly with our eyes closed for even as little as 10 or 15 minutes a day begins to clear the waste out of our hearts and minds, making room for the nourishment of peace and wisdom to enter in. To sit in meditation is to tune your ear to the voice of the sage, your higher self, the Tao. And it is the most powerful way of gaining the assistance of these higher forces. You know, you guys will all have your own interpretations. I'm just going to drop a tiny bit of neuroscience in here. We're almost done with this portion. When we practice meditation, especially mindfulness meditation, where we're not in a guided meditation, we're not contacting the Galactic Council, we're not moving through our chakra system, we're not doing, we're just focusing on the breath or a mantra or nothing. When we can do that, we can get out of the part of our brain from a neurophysiological perspective that has past, present, that's computing time. And when we can transcend that part of ourselves, all the poisonous neurotransmitters of stress and ambition and cortisol, they're gone. And so too is the linear nature of time. And so through meditation, we can access solutions and creativity that are not bound by the time lateral process. And so I truly believe that mindfulness, like emptiness meditation, which we're going to dive into in both programs, is a pivotal role to keeping our inspiration and letting our brain defrag itself so we can show up fresher with more new, clear insights that come from the realm of non-being. All right. The final counsel is that we observe tranquility in speech, thoughts, and actions. By cultivating calm and equanimity in all that you say, think, and do, you nourish your superior self, your higher self, your wisdom mind. And you also nourish that of those around you. One who follows these three counsels now will meet with good fortune.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, so just to review, you got, recommitment to your meditation practice and the value of mindfulness meditation. To filter your thoughts and actions, I suggest using, is it kind, is it necessary, is it true? And to be aware of the energy that you're emitting, not only when you're in performance mode or coaching mode or go or CEO mode, but also the energy you're emitting on the spaces in between, to just start to witness that. Yeah.
And during this, if you guys have any other insights, please feel free to drop them in the chat box. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know how it's landing with y'all. So one of probably the most powerful book in my life in the last 5 years has been the Gene Keys. And the reason being is I'm able to use it and begin to pinpoint where the shadows are in my life and how they're showing up specifically, both from a reactive pattern or from a repressive pattern. So it kind of connects. How does the I Ching and the Gene Keys work together? So we know from epigenetics, right? One, that the quality of our consciousness, our emotions, our thoughts, our food, our environment, all affect the expression of our genes. We can literally turn on codons on or off based on our state of consciousness. And they've also discovered that our genes are carriers of electromagnetic frequencies and light. So the higher vibration emotions, the more light literally that is able to express through our genes. And so in the genes, right, you have you have two strands of nucleotides. In the I Ching, right, you have yin and yang. Now there's four primary bases for the nucleotides. I don't need to get into the chemical of those. And then in the I Ching, there's four expressions of the yin and yang. There's yin, yang, and there's yin within yang, yang within yin, right? Then they're also grouped in threes. So in the genes, they're grouped in threes, and that's what creates that spiraling double helix, right? And in the I Ching, you roll the coins, then you get 3 lines over 3 lines, and now you get a 4 hexagram. So what I wanted to share with y'all tonight was the gene key expression, and the shadow of this 27th gene key is that of selfishness. And so what I want you to do right now is just tune in and feel into your life right now and look at the reactive pattern, which is giving from a place of agenda. So selfishness shows up sometimes in us constantly giving and sharing in order to get. So see right now if there's a relationship or other parts of your life where you're giving to get. It's not coming from your heart. So we're giving from the mind. We're giving from a place of lack, need, limitation, and thus planting that seed. And then that seed begins to ripple back to us. So we may find others that want more of our time, want more of our attention, our money, or whatever the case may be. But it's not coming from a true, genuine place. And so they're giving out of a sense of wanting, right? So that's the reactive pattern. Now the repressive or is that of self-sacrifice. So we're giving our power away. So where in your life are you giving your power away? Where in your life are you not speaking up? Where in your life are you not creating clear, healthy boundaries? And then because of that, it creates a subtle sense of resentment or feeling like we're being taken advantage of, right? So some of you may be leaning toward one way or the other. And you may notice, oh, there's a little bit of both happening. So one of the action steps this week is to look at how this is showing up, if it's showing up for you. The subtlety of selfishness. Now the gift is altruism. And altruism is giving from the heart because we want to, because it brings us joy, happiness, brings us upliftment naturally. And when we give from this place, there's a current, right? Because every thought, every action creates a ripple, plants a seed. And so as we plant those seeds from a place of clarity, from heart-centeredness, then we naturally get those back. And so feel into your heart right now, what brings you joy just for the fact of doing it, of sharing? Where in your life are you doing that right now? Where you're giving from pure love, from pure heart? and begin to amplify that. Where are you just overjoyed? And in the siddhi, so siddhi is a Sanskrit word that means psychic power or gift. And us as a collective, if the collective of humanity right now is in a shadow frequency or vibration and lack, limitation, fear, etc., and we're all beginning to live in a frequent state of gift consciousness, of gratitude, appreciation, love, joy, we naturally begin to raise the collective vibration. Just like the enlightened beings that have come before us, if they didn't show us a path, a way, then we wouldn't know that it was possible. So what's happening now is we begin to open to our gifts. Naturally, these siddhic states or psychic powers or supernatural gifts come online. And each one of you have natural siddhic consciousness and abilities. And so this one is selflessness. And in a more personal way, selflessness is connecting to that ability and trust deep within, like trusting that you don't need nothing from nobody. Right? You don't need nothing from anybody. And you give from this same place. You give from that same place because we're not out trying to get. Right? You offer, not from a place of I want, I need. There's the ego in the way. I'm offering because the divine flow is so abundant through me that I'm ready to give. You know what I'm saying? And then all of us are building businesses right now, right? And what is the goal of your business? Right? To be successful, to live the life of your dreams, to be happy, to make a change, all these things. And deep down at the core, we're here to change and transform culture, change and transform humanity, to help the awakening. And the more money, income we have, right, that allows for a greater contribution. And that's where philanthropy comes in. And what I want to share about that is when we tune into selflessness, we naturally have the ability to see what systems, what projects are nurturing life, are self-sustaining, are worth our energy, and which are taking away from life. Right? What are harming life? So what I want to leave you with is, for this week, is look at in what ways you're feeling that quality of selfishness, and how did that show up for you? Look at it in its repressive way and its reactive way. And then what do you truly want to give to others? Really create a time and a space to see it happening. And then the last one is nurturance. What brings you that sense of nurturance, that sense of nourishment? And so we give from that place of freedom, of true freedom. You don't need anything from anybody. And that pretty much wraps up the Gene Key. So share any insights, anything you want to add to this, you can drop it in the chat box. I'm gonna tell you, this felt like a digital ceremony. Yeah, that's what's up. Kai, feeling deeply how this process is going to more deeply connect me to the divine plan behind my business. Yes. One of my favorite ways to work with the gene keys is using breath work. So I'll breathe for the shadow and envision, and we're going to do this on future calls. I want to be really concise with our time and space. But what I do is I'll breathe one for the shadow and begin to envision the DNA double helix like unzipping, and like any old clutter, survival codes, fear codes, just being just cleared and cleansed. And I'll hold that vision of forgiveness and clarity and just like honoring the shadow, because from that comes our greatest gifts. It teaches us so much. And then I'll do a breath for the gift and see that activating my life, see my heart being filled. And I'll do one for the city and see the planet and see the higher conscious that wants to work through our life, through our business, like manifesting, So feel free, use the breath work that we've taught y'all in Pathway of Power, and really allow that space of clarity to come, so it doesn't become just another mental exercise and trying to add more things to our plate. 100% of the spiritual path is stripping away the illusions, is clearing the clutter, so the breath work helps to dial it right in. And so that's my invitation to y'all is use your breath work and dial that in as a way to start your day.
Hey, David, man, I like full vision. I was like, oh my God, man, we are gonna need both of you and I to create some guided meditations to ground in each one of these. You know what I mean? And soon we'll have a library of the whole thing, but let's just start with this one, right?
I love that.
So I'm gonna pester David to get him to make a quick meditation to unzip our DNA, take the shadow out by acknowledging it, then drop in the gift, and then manifest the city into the world. Yeah, so we're gonna do that. And I just want to say, brothers and sisters, this is so special what's happening, and I want to encourage you to sit with this reading for the next 30 days and to look at your life. How do you nourish yourself? Where do you give away your power? How active is the monkey mind, and how often are you returning to stillness? And where are you overgiving in your business, and where are you undergiving? Where have you lost contact with your deepest purpose for doing what you're doing? And there are Jedi in this group that we're all gonna lift each other up through our dialogue. And in other groups, each one of you will show up as an expert and as a leader and as the one with the answers. So I want to just invite you in this container to be the one with the questions and be the one that needs help, that has a quandary, because your high level questions will lift all of us up. And the I Ching and the gene keys and the immortal form and the adaptogenic entrepreneur will provide a chi laboratory for us to all figure out our solutions individually and collectively. So what I'm saying is your participation is so important and so vital. And it starts with read the I Ching, number 27, journal on it, figure out where it sits with you. And then on another day, a separate day, read the gene keys. This stuff is deep, man. And the last piece that I'm a practical person. I always want a technique. And what I have to say about this work is that if you just spend the time to like bump into it or to let it like be in your consciousness, it does the work from underneath somehow. Right, David? You know what I'm talking about, right? You can't explain how it's working, but it's working more deeply than you could ever with a technique that was like hammering it into place. So your only homework is to bathe yourself in it. Bump up against it. Read it before you go to bed. Let it be the seed of your dreams at night. So,
when I would read the gene keys out loud, it activated something powerful. And how I noticed after about halfway through reading, I noticed my eyes started to get kind of glossy, like I couldn't focus on the page anymore. And the power of our word is so, so potent. And so like I'm reading it to a friend, and I'm like, I can't quite see what I'm reading anymore. What's happening was like I started to go into this nonlinear realm, and I could just feel things happening and shifting. And there was at least one or two times where after I would read it out loud, I would go into a deep sleep. I would go or meditation, and then things would happen, and it's colors, lights, visions, other realizations would come through. So this is, the Wu Wei. This is effortless effort. Let it, like Kai said, let it bathe you. Read it out loud. Have fun with it. This is a fun process. Part of my biggest intention here is to have so much fun, and nourish each other and grow with each other, and really allow the magic. And this is where we can just geek out on the magic and the mystery, and then apply that shit. Boom. So, now she said she's had that experience too. Yeah. Oh, geek out. Yeah. Love you or not.
All right, so I just want to cover a few logistics as we wrap up this call tonight. We want to keep them short so you guys can dive back in at any time we send out the replay. You're going to be getting an invite to the Facebook group, so get in the Facebook group. That'll serve as a place for quick shares, videos, and redundancy. Yeah. Mateo, get in line, motherfucker, all right? Because you ain't the only one, all right?
Oh, God.
So back to logistics. David, could you take your shirt off for this part so they pay attention to the announcement here?
All right. One of these days it might happen. We'll see.
All right, so get in the Facebook group. Number 2, please respond to Ola's email. Ola is in the group with us. She is a huge part of this process, and she sent an email out. She asked you to respond with what book you got at Pathway of Power and what book you still need, as well as your mailing address. So get that out there. We want to honor the first 12 with the hard copy books. And then get ready for Sunday night because Immortal Form is about to blast off.
Yeah. So the one thing I got to say about it is make sure you have space to move, okay? Sit, even lay down, okay? Because these Sunday nights are going to be practice-oriented. I'm going to give you some theory and application, but really it's all about, Qigong is about the practice and the transmission. So make sure don't be in a cafe, okay? Don't be driving in your car. Find a quiet space so we can dive in together. And if if one time you have to be there, a cafe, don't do it, okay? Make sure you find the right space. And I'm really excited. I love you guys. And please feel us invited you all also to the Qigong group as well. So I'll make sure I post the replays of our calls in there, ask any questions on there as well. And you also all should have been invited to the Vimify. So if you haven't downloaded that app, Vimify, I'll send out another email reminder, also put it in the Facebook group, because that's where your Qigong videos are going to be and your Noble Movement videos. Oh, and Jamie did the music. Woo! Jamie just finished the music for the Qigong and the Noble Movement. Some really new kick-ass stuff. So, yes, it's a good question. I emailed them, so they just got back to me today, and so I just got to follow up. And yes, that will definitely be worked out. And if it can't be worked out, I'll change the price down to $1. If for whatever reason I can't fix the pay portal in Vimify, then I'll just put $1 in there. it'll get us in. So, but I'll do my best to figure that out. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Love you guys. So honored to be on this journey, this path with you. Have a wonderful sleep. Oh, $2. All right, $2. I'll give you dollars in Vegas.
Mateo, your pesos ain't no good around here, bro. Your pesos are not getting his shirt off. There's no way, man.
Great. So much fun. This is what it's all about. So,
all right.
Just let's close it out. Have a wonderful night.
What'd you say there on Mateo? You're telling Lauren's going to take a duck hunting. That's right. We could do duck hunting. That's real good.
Lindsay was like, I really like Kai's hat. That's a beautiful hat.
Yeah, look at this. This is like the not duck hunting hat. This is the Aboriginal, cave painting hat. But, Mateo, say what you want, man. I'll I'll follow you out of the promised land anytime.
Duck hunt was one of my favorite, man. We got to go on a duck hunting trip. Actually, when with her parents, man, her grandparents, it was hella fun. So anyway, I love you guys.